Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this. It's a, that doesn't belong on there. It's just a decorative element card, or it's not really a card, but you could make it into a card by adding one on the back. And let's get started here. Using just dies and some sort of scoring tool. I'm going to use my scoreboard here. So it uses the Groves dies and the Lighting the Way dies. Okay, these are the dies that are being used, and it's also using the deckled rectangles. Okay, so I used the second from the largest of the deckled rectangles. These are all from the Grassy Groves, and this one's from Lighting the Way. Okay, let's place those aside for a minute. The only cardstock you're going to need, I know it doesn't seem like much, but you need one piece that's 9.5 by 8 1/4. This is going to be the color of whatever you want your background in here to be. Or you could do it a white and then just put a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece back there, but I just did it all out of the black. You could use like a dark green or night of navy or starry sky, something like that. Okay, and then I have two pieces of 4 1/4 by 5.5 of the white. Okay, so let's do this part first. Okay, it's 9.5 by 8 1/4. And on all four sides, we're going to score it 1/2 inch. It would help if it stayed in the track. 1/2 inch. Because I'm on camera, it's not. Half an inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. Okay, and we're going to do that on all four sides. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and 2. One more time. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and 2. Now you could do it on both sides, but then it goes into 1/4 inches, and it's just easier remembering one set of numbers. Okay, now we're going to turn it so the 9.5 inch side is in the top, and at 2.5 inches we're going to score just down 3 lines. Okay, so we're going to score down to 1.5 inches, and then we'll come over here to 7. We'll do the same thing, just down 3 lines. It's 1.5 inches. Okay, we're going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. 2.5 inches, scoring down 3 lines, which is 1.5 inches. 7 inches, score down just 1.5 inches. Something's not quite right here. I don't think my paper is quite square, but well, it'll work. Okay, that's all the scoring. Get this out of the way. And we're going to bring in our scissors. And I don't know if you can see the score lines, but I did one up. I didn't go all the way to the edges, just so you could see it. Okay. So on the long sides, I'm going to cut all the way up, to 4 score lines once. Twice. 3 times. 4. And then this one. Okay, so all of those you're cutting up all the way. Okay, now on the other end here, we're just going to cut off these last 2, so you probably didn't have to do this one, but and I like to cut off my score line here. Okay, so I'm cutting off those 2. Okay, then here I'm going to cut off these bottom 2. Again, I like to cut off the score line. Okay, then this one gets cut off. Let's fold this one back. Cut this one off. And cut this one off. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and now I'm going to cut, and I'm just going to miter this bottom little box here. Okay, let's do it again on this side. This time I'll start at this end. It'll save me 1 cut. I'm going to cut up 1 to this, all the way up to the intersection there. All the way up to the intersection. 1 more, all the way to the intersection. Or 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to turn it. I'm going to cut off this bunch here, completely off. This one, I'm going to cut just the bottom 2 off. Fold this back. Cut this one off. And this one off. Okay, then come in and miter this little bottom box here. Repeat it on the other side. So I'll start here where there's 3 boxes. I'm going to cut up. I'm going to cut up 4 boxes here. 4 boxes here. 1 more 4 boxes. Turn it sideways. I'm going to cut off these 8 boxes here. I'm going to cut off the bottom 2 boxes here. I'm going to fold the 2 that are left out of the way. Cut off this 4 boxes and these 3 boxes. Pull this back out and miter this bottom box. Okay, then repeat it over here. 3 boxes, 4 boxes, 4 boxes, 4 boxes. Cut off these 8 boxes here. Cut off 2 boxes on this side here. Fold that under. Cut off 4 boxes and 3 boxes. Open that up, miter this last little box here. Okay, and then we're gonna go and crease on all of these fold lines. Don't forget these little ones. So a little more complicated than I normally do, but the design itself is very easy. Comes up with a very fun card panorama, like shadow box. Okay, so we're going to do these 2 side pieces first. Okay, I'm going to take the glue. We're going to fold over 2, 1, 2. We're going to put glue here. You don't want too much because you don't want it oozing out, but you want it well covered. Okay, then we're going to fold it over, or fold this over onto it. That works too, but I found it easier just to fold the whole thing over. Rub it down good. Get that glue burnished in there. I have a little glue ooze out, but that's alright because that's gonna get glued there anyway. Then pull it back up so it makes this little box. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Now we're going to take these little ends here and we're going to tuck it inside the box. Okay. We'll do the other side. Fold over this side. Put glue here. Try not to get too much. Fold it over. Well, I pinch it together while I'm folding it over. I think that makes it easier. Okay, stand it back up. Tuck these little ends in. Okay, now we're going to put glue here and on these 2 little pieces there. So we're just going to put a little glue here, a little glue here, and glue on this end. Okay. I'm going to fold this part up here and here, and this part gets tucked underneath so that that matches up. So I just line it up with that edge there if I can, and fold it in on inside. Okay, tuck it in good. Hold it for a minute if you need to. You need to rub it from the back, get that glue to set. Okay, we'll do it on this other side. So we're going to put a little glue here on this tab, here on this tab, glue here. Now you don't need those tabs necessarily. I just thought it made it a little bit of a neater end. I don't know, it just felt neater. Okay, so fold up these corners, tuck this in, fold it over. Oops, I got glue inside all over the place. Okay, let's get all these little bits out of the way. Alright, now you can set this aside to dry. I need to put a little bit more glue on this little tab, I think. Okay, so we'll set that aside to dry. We'll bring in our 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch pieces. Now one of them, I'm going to take the second for the largest deckled rectangle. I'm going to put it in the center of that, and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. Now if you want a little bit more at the bottom, then just push it up just a hair to the top. And then that's going to come out like this. Okay, it has this piece here. Save this because we're going to use that to cut out all of our other pieces. Okay, so that's that piece. Then the second one we're going to use this die for. We're going to center that up right in the center of it. We're going to run that through our die cut machine. It's going to come out looking like this. And this little piece is going to come out of the center. We're going to use that as well. Okay, so these two pieces we need. I got them both upside down. There we go. Okay, so we need those two pieces. Out of these pieces, we're going to die cut the lantern, the large deer, the small deer, and 4 sets of these leaves. Okay, and you can get all but one leaf out of this. Let's see if you can see it. That's all but one leaf. So then I cut out the last leaf out of this. Or you can cut the deer out of this and cut more leaves out of this. But that's how we only ended up with using those 2 pieces. And here's all those pieces. Let me put these away so I don't lose them. All right, so let's start assembling this card. Or it's not really a card, it's a shadow box. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is bring in some dimensionals. And we are going to put dimensionals on the back of this piece. Now you might need to use small ones or use edges. Alright, come on. Here we go. Excuse. Forgot to put my phone on mute. Right now my editing system is not working, so I can't do a 2-part video. Okay, so I'm going to take all these backs off. Yeah, this is a noisy place today. Neighbor sanding or weed eating or something. Phone ringing. Come on. I think that's it. Okay, I got them all. Okay, now we're going to center this up on top of this. And I'm going to actually bring in my tool here to do that. I don't want to squash my box. I'm going to put this on the corner. I'm going to put this in the corner. Set it down. Okay, so that's one layer done. Okay. Now we're going to bring this and we're going to dry fit it here. Put it down and we're going to figure out where we want to put the deer. And it's going to go right here. They go down towards the bottom. And the other one will go here. And we'll go ahead and glue those in. Am I in frame? I hope I'm in frame. A little too much glue, so let's just take some off of there. lost some of my leaves. Nope. All right. So now I'm going to glue this right on here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edge of this box. Go ahead and glue that on there. Try to get it as centered as I can. Okay, now I'm going to come in with dimensionals. I'm going to turn the lantern over. I'm going to put a dimensional down towards the bottom of the base and up here towards the top. I'll go ahead and adhere that down where I want it. Okay, then I'm going to come in with these little branches. I'm just going to put tiniest little dab of glue on the back. And tuck one in under here. Put one on top here. Put glue just on these outside leaves here, just a tiny bit. Tuck that one in here. Take one of these smaller ones. Tuck that in here. Take one of the larger ones. Glue on this side only. Tuck that in here. A couple of small ones. This one goes on this underneath. This one goes here. Don't remember where the last one went. I think I'm going to tuck it in there. Okay, well there's our panorama. See how it's dimensional? Isn't that cool? Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Have a great one, everybody.